On AV2-2, we're calculating the surface area of prisms and pyramids. We're not doing this part, we've already done that. So surface area is really just the sum of the areas of all of the faces or surfaces that enclose a solid. So it's all the sides of your rectangular prism all added up. And we're going to think specifically about a rectangular prism. So my rectangular prism has 6 faces. I have the top and the bottom, the right and the left, the front and the back. And if I unwrapped it, I would get something that looks like this, where I've got my bases here, and then I can picture unfolding all the sides going around, all those lateral faces. So these two come together and are going to be the area of my base times 2. And then I've got this rectangle. And this ends up being the height, and this side ends up being the perimeter of the base. So the area of that red rectangle is the perimeter times the height. So I can use the formula 2b plus perimeter times height. B is area of base. P is perimeter of base. And H is height of prism. It's not wrong to find the area of each and add them up, but there's more room for error because you're finding all these separate little pieces and then adding them up. And there's more steps, there's more places you could make a mistake. With a formula like this, all I need to do is find the base, the perimeter, and the height, and then plug it in. So we're gonna practice this a little bit. I'm gonna start with my formula. My surface area equals 2 times my base plus the perimeter times the height. I know the base is a hexagon, the apothem is 6.05, each side is 7, the height is 20. So first I need to find the area of my base, which with a regular hexagon will be 1/2 times the apothem times the side times the number of sides. So I have 1/2 times 6.05 times each side is 7 times I have 6 sides. When I plug all of that into my calculator, the area of my base is 127.05. So going back up to my surface area formula, I've got 2, because I have 2 bases, times 127.05, plus the perimeter of my base will be 7 times the 6 sides, so 42, times the height 20. So 2 times 127.05 is 254.1. 42 times 20 is 840. Add those up, and my surface area is 1,094.1 centimeters squared. We'll do another example. This time my base is a triangle. I've got a right angle here, so I know my base and the height of the triangle are 3 and 4. My surface area is still 2 times the base plus perimeter of the base times the height. My base is 1/2 base of the triangle times height of the triangle. So I have 1/2 times 3 times 4. 1/2 of 4 is just 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So going back to my surface area formula, I'm doing 2 times the area of the base that we found, which is 6. The perimeter of the triangle is 3 plus 4, 7, plus 5, 12, times the height of the prism, 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 10 is 120, and when I add those up, I get 132 centimeters squared. If I have a square pyramid, my formula looks something like this. And the reason this works is if I picture unfolding that square pyramid, My base is still just my base. Easy. Then I have 4 triangles going around. Okay. Where each triangle is going to be 1/2 base times height, but the base of the triangle is the side of the base of the pyramid, and the height of the triangle is the slant height of the pyramid. But this only works on a square pyramid. Okay, so on a square pyramid, I could clean it up and get base plus 2 times slant height times side length. But it falls apart once I have a pentagon for my base, or a hexagon, or an octagon, or anything crazy. What will always work is 1 base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. Because this was 4 times 1/2 times the side. Well, the 4 on the side worked out to be my perimeter, right? If it was a pentagon, I would need to change this to 5. If it was a hexagon for my base, I would need to do 6. So rather than have a different formula for each one, I'm just going to use this formula every single time for a pyramid. The base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. So B is still area of the base. S is 1 side length. L is the slant height. And P is perimeter. Again, you could just find the area of each and add them up. That's not wrong, but it's slicker and faster if you use the formula. So we'll do a few examples. And this one, they don't give me my slant height. They give me my regular height. I know that that height is going to go to the middle of my pyramid because it's a regular pyramid. So it's going to be 1/2 that length. And if I do that Pythagorean formula, I get 16 plus 9, and I'm able to find my slant height. So I'm using 5 for my slant height, 6 for each side length of that base. My formula for a pyramid is base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. My base is just 6 times 6. The perimeter of my pyramid, the base perimeter, is 6 times 4, or 24, and we found that slant height using the Pythagorean formula 5. I'm going to add all of this up. I have 36 plus 1/2 of 24, which is 12, times 5, and when I add 36 and 60, I get 96. This time I am given my slant height over here. My height here is irrelevant. It's just there to mess with me. Okay, if I'm given my slant height, I'm going to use that instead. I've got a hexagon for my base. My surface area is still base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. I need to solve for my base first though. Since it's a hexagon, I'm doing 1/2 the apothem times the side times the number of sides. So I have 1/2 times 1.68 times each side is 5, and I have 6 sides. When I throw that in a calculator, my base area is 25.2. So going back to that surface area formula, I have my base 25.2 plus 1/2. My perimeter is each side 5 times the 6 sides, so 30 times my slant height 11. 1/2 of 30 is 15, and 15 times 11 is 165. I'll add on the 25.2, and I get 190.2 centimeters squared. On this next one, I'm asked to find the surface area using algebra. Okay, so I've got x for this length, I've got x for my height, and I have 1 for this length. I'm going to still start with my formula 2b plus perimeter times height. My base is going to be 1 times x. So I'm going to have 2. 1 times x is just x. Then I'm going to need to add on my perimeter, which is 1 plus x plus 1 plus x, or 2 plus 2x, times my height, x. As I clean this up and combine like terms, 2 times x is 2x. I'll distribute this as well and get 2x plus 2x squared. And now I'm combining like terms. I'm going to have my 2x squared first, and then 2x plus 2x is 4x. Same thing on this one. I'm doing 2 times my base plus perimeter times height. My base will be y times 2x plus 1. My perimeter will be 2x plus 1 plus y all times 2. And then I need to multiply that times my height, x. So I'm working from the innermost out. So I'm going to keep my 2 along for the ride, and I'll distribute just the y for now. So I get 2xy plus y. Same thing over here. I'm going to distribute just my 2 for now and keep the x, and I'm actually going to move the x out front. 2 times 2x is 4x plus, not 4, 2 plus 2y. Now I'll distribute my 2 over here. So I get 4xy plus 2y, distribute my x here, plus 4x squared plus 2x plus 2xy, and now I'm combining like terms. Those are both xy's, and then everything else is its own thing. So I'm going to have 4x squared plus 2x. 2xy plus 4xy is 6xy plus 2y. On this example, we're asked to find the surface area. This one, for many kids, it's hard to see kind of the shortcut, if you will. So a lot of you can look at this purple side and say, oh, that's 40. That's 4 times 10. But these pieces are also each 40 when I add those together. The parts I labeled 1, 2, and 3 will also add up to be 40. And I can picture it as if I raised those steps up, it would make a perfect cube. So even though they're dropped down part of the way, they're still going to add up to 40. So my purple sides are 40. So I've got 80 so far. This side, similarly, is going to be the same as those 3 added together. And those 3 added together are going to be 5 plus 4 plus 3, so 12 times 4. So all together, each of those will be 48. So the 2 blue parts, the one that's completely flat and the one that's getting pushed in each step of the way, will add up to be 96. And then I just have to worry about the front and the back. So I'm going to split them into rectangles and add them up. I'm going to have 5 times 10 is 50 for this much of the front. This much is 3. So since the whole thing is 10, this much must be 7. 7 times 4 will be 28. The whole thing was 7, and this much was 3. So this must be 4, and 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 28 plus 50, and I've got the back as well, so I need to double that. Okay, so 12 plus 28 gets me to 40, plus 50 gets me to 90. When I double it, I'm at 180. I'm going to add all of that up now. 180 plus 80 plus 96, and I get 356 units squared. And that's what I'm going to split it into 2 things. Or 3 things, rather. I've got 2 pyramids and I've got a cube. But we're not painting the inside, so I'm ignoring the top and bottom of the cube. The 2 parts that have the pyramids glued to it. So really I have 4 squares where each is 9 by 9. So just for the cube part, I've got 81 times 4, or 324. So that covered going around this cube. Over here on my pyramid, I've really got 4 triangles where each is half times 9 times that slant height 15. I'm not worrying about my base. When I throw that in a calculator, just this part is 270, all 4 of those triangles going around. I'll do the same thing on this other side. I've got 4 triangles going around. I'm not including the base. And I'm doing half. I've got 4 triangles. Each one is 9 by 19. So just that much is 342. And I'm adding up all 3 sections. So 270 plus 324 plus 342. And I get 936 centimeters squared.